Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Hamdi and I'm back with another video. Yes, girls and boys and men and women, everybody, I'm back with another video. And on today's video, as you guys can see from the title, we're talking about dowry. And the price of dowry being way too high nowadays. And we need to talk about it. This is a very sensitive conversation, very uncomfortable subject for many because they don't know how to speak up to their parents about dowry. Today I'll break down a few reasons why the dowry shouldn't keep going up and why the dowry should be lowered per person as they can afford it, So can we stop overcharging for marriage dowry? Can we? Well, let's get into the video. Before we do that, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about this video. And if you want to watch more of my videos, you can go to my page and check them out. I will be posting more podcast-like videos, probably short and simple and to the point. But if you guys want longer videos, let me know and I will go ahead and arrange that. If you have any subject that you would like for me to talk about, comment down below or message me on my Instagram or my TikTok or any social media account. I will put it down below and let's get right into the video. Why do we ask for more money than we've ever laid eyes on when it comes to marriage? In order to sell our daughters. When dowry comes into play, it seems to be, in America at least, in the Somali Bantu culture, it just seems like people are starting to lose their minds. What's going on in that noggin? What's with the shenanigan? Like, why are you trying to get rich off your child? And these days, you don't even care who the man is, what he can give your child, what he can afford, how he can treat your daughter. A lot of times, obviously, some men do go to college, get good jobs, but they have to understand that just because somebody got an education does not mean they're going to treat your child correctly, the way they need to be treated. And just because somebody does not have an education does not mean they would mistreat your child. You just look at the money aspect, you will lose your child, whether to physical violence, mental violence, whatever it may be. You're going to lose your child. They might just cut you off because you don't listen to what they have to say when they cry out to you for help. You might just lose them to death itself. If a man does not respect your child, he does not respect you. So stop overcharging, because at the end of the day, the one who loses is your child. Allow them to marry somebody who loves, respects, and understands them, instead of just allowing them to marry the highest bidder. Because that's what you're doing. You're bidding on your child's life. You will win that bid and you will win the wrong type of man. All right, let's stop trying to force our children to bring men that have money, because women would sometimes even sell their body. That's like, okay, if you just marry me, I would go ahead and do whatever you want. And guess what? Whatever they want, whatever some men's mind goes through, like whatever is in their minds is sinister. It's crazy. Whatever they're asking your child to do might not be safe physically, mentally, and psychologically, all because of the financial aspect. All they ever see is money sign, like dollar sign. That's it, because that's what you subjected them to. When you allow money to be the object of trading your child for, you're creating fitna in that future marriage. If the man that's marrying your daughter is poor and he has to work so hard to raise this money, he just stresses out. If you say, oh, you have a year to pay that dowry. In that year, somebody, you don't know what they have to do. You don't know how many jobs they have to juggle. They forget the fact that they even want to marry your child. They're going to start to think like, why am I even working so hard? Or their mind goes to, if I'm making all this money to provide for this girl, then she's gonna be like a slave to me type. And it's gonna create fitna in the marriage, because when they first met, it was about, oh, I want to complete half your deen, but I don't have money. And she's like, oh, well, my parents want $20,000, $30,000 for my dowry. And he's like, but I can't afford that. Can you lower it? And your daughter probably doesn't know how to speak to you to tell you that, oh, he can't pay 20,000. Even if he has 15,000, he still has to make up another 10 to 15,000 in order to marry your child. That is way, way, way too much. Why I say it's crazy as fitna is, once they're married, after the marriage, he might start throwing around, I paid so much money to marry you, and now you'd have to pay me back that money or make that money back in order to make up for the stress that I've been through. Or you have to do everything or whatever I want, whatever I need in order to show me. Do whatever you have to do to show me that you were worth every penny I gave to your people. That's creating fitna. Now she's thinking, well, when you met me, you loved me. Oh, and now you're trying to turn me into a slave over a few coins? Like, she could say, boy, bye. Or some people are like, they get scared because a lot of men like to play the alpha male. And I just totally hate that word alpha male. Because if you think that you will control me, you got another thing coming, baby. You got another thing coming. If you think that you're going to hold some dollar bills over my head, tell me, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that over some little bit of money, chump change, baby, I am stepping out. I am leaving. I'm going back to my parents. But that's the thing. Can you blame him for feeling how he's feeling? Or should you blame your parents for making him stress his life? All he wanted was the love of his life. And now the love of his life imprisoned him in debt. And that is the question. Like, do you think it's worth for a man to stress out over making this much money in order to marry you? Was it worth it? Because now, for one, he's going to be out of the house to make back that money. Two, he cannot have time for you. So you never really get to bond. Because now is, I have credit card debt here. I have credit card debt there. I have bank loans here. And they take all the haram routes in order to please your family. Is that right? How do you feel about that? So when you're creating a high dowry for your child, think about that. Am I creating fitna for my child in the future? Will this affect my relationship with my child? Because if your husband tells you, you have to work to make this money because our family needs this money, can she say, oh no, I can't do that? Obviously in Islam, a woman doesn't have to work unless she chooses to work. And if she does work, her money is her money. But if she sees her husband struggling, she's allowed to help out. But now it's like, what am I working for? Like, this man had good credit before he met you, and all of a sudden, all this debt just to marry you. It's haram. The marriage is starting haram because you're taking debt in order to marry this girl that you can't afford. Interests are going to start piling up, especially if you live in America. That interest BS is not a joke. If you're taking loans, think about the interest, baby. The interest is going to pile up on your head like there's no tomorrow. And it's not worth it. And when the parents do ask for dowry, I just want to know, like, I want to ask the parents, when you ask for this dowry, what do you do with the money? Like, you'll be on welfare all your life. And then you're asking somebody's son who's also on welfare. The mother is on welfare. If you're Bantu, you know. Every Bantu person you know right now is on welfare. First, you want a Bantu guy for your child because you can't possibly accept your child marrying outside the culture because you will lose at the end, you think. So your mindset is only bring me Bantu guy. Especially some girls, they're trained for that. Bring me a Bantu man. That's it. Now they bring you a Bantu man. His mom is on welfare. His dad is disabled. He's the only one who's making money in that household. All he wants is a wife to complete his deen. Is it his fault for wanting something halal? No, it's not his fault. But you're asking this boy to bring 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. This man doesn't even own a house. Man is probably still making payment on his car. What I'm saying is, when you can see this guy, he's trying to save coins wherever he can and try to take care of his elder parents who are on welfare. How are you possibly going to get $20,000, $30,000 out of his pocket? How? You're going to have the same issues as them, but you don't look at it like that. You don't think about where somebody's family is coming from. Can your family afford this dowry? That's not the first question you guys ask. It's just, boom, the dowry is set. If you want to marry my child, this is what you have to pay. That's not life. Stop it. I beg. Stop your wahala. Stop your wahala. If you cannot afford it yourself, if you have never laid, you never set your eyes on $20,000, stop trying to make somebody's son pay $20,000 for your child. Even with a college degree, baby, like, everybody is in debt. Some people cannot afford college degrees. And if they do go to college, they have to pay back this college. And as hard as the economy is, why are you forcing your child to be married for that much money? Let's talk. If you're asking for more than $10,000 in dowry, you're asking for too much. You're asking for too much. Instead, tell your daughter, make her mahir a house, so that man can work towards getting her a house. Give him a time frame or not. It doesn't matter. Make that an important thing. Say, I just want you to take this money and put it on a down payment on a house or something. You know, do it the halal way. No riba, obviously, no riba. But take this money and make it halal. Buy my daughter a house. I want to make sure if I leave this world, I want to know my daughter will never be poor, outside, homeless, because she will always have something, a roof over her head. Alhamdulillah. That should be main subject. Oh, make sure my daughter never starves. Make sure my daughter never lacks love, money, food, whatever it may be. Make that dowry. Make his word your the child's dowry. Because if he starts to break those words that he promises he made to you, then you can be like, okay, well, you broke this promise. My daughter is starving. My daughter is not eating. My daughter has no roof over her head. It's been 10 years. Y'all been married. You're not putting no effort to committing to the promises you've made to me. So I need my daughter back. Simple as that. That's it. You can pay back a word. I mean, if they have kids 10 years later and it's their life becomes busy and stuff like that, they can't afford it. But that's something they can talk about. But a woman needs to be able to speak up on her man's behalf. If you're getting married to somebody's son and you know he's broke, stop bringing him to your parents and still expecting him to pay $20,000. Stop. You already know this man cannot afford this money. So why are you stressing it? Just let it go. Let him go. Find somebody's son who can afford you. If your parents never laid $20,000 on their eyes, stop trying to force somebody's son to pay that. Back to the parents, like asking for the money, like, what do y'all do with it? And you always hear, oh, it's being dispensed between all the close family members of the daughter, of the girl. But it does not make no sense. You're equally sharing the money that you took from my husband to be in order to spread it to people I've never seen, I've never spoken to in my entire life, that have no hand in making me the woman I am today. Does that make sense? What do you mean you're dispensing between family members, people that raised you? These people never raised me. The money should go to people who raised me. And if my parents do succeed in getting $20,000 for my head, I would like for them to take that money and buy them a house. If that's the case, you raised me all these years and you missed out on owning properties. Buy a house so you never have to pay rent. Donate some money to the masjid so you can pay for your future investment in the hereafter. What about you pay for the trip to Mecca? Do the pilgrimage, baby. Go to the Kaaba. This money should be made useful amongst the parents who raised that child, not the aunties, uncles, cousins who had no hand in raising this child. If you have not seen this child in over 5 to 10 to 20 years, you have no right to claim a penny for raising them. You have no responsibility. You have your own kids to raise. Even if you've never had kids of your own, I'm sorry about that. Even if you've never had a kid of your own to raise, and you're looking at, oh, well, from time to time I checked up on your mother. Checking up on my mother is not raising me, or it's not raising me. And you're still expecting a little bit of money. You're dispensing $5,000 to $20,000 between how many people? And at the end of the day, you're all broke. You're all broke. All the children you guys have gotten married. All Bantu moms and dads or whatever, uncles, aunties, grandparents. All the kids you have gotten married and asking them dowry from $5,000 to up. All these years. You have nothing to show for it. You're living in America for 20 years and you have nothing to show for it. You got 3 kids married. Where is that money? And you still got the audacity to ask for more is the problem. You still have the audacity to ask for more money when you know yourself you don't know how to be responsible with money. You're selling your child and you cannot even be responsible. Can you explain that? Chai, I'm ranting. I'm mad. And you guys have to realize, kids nowadays would rather commit zina than to get married because of the inflation on marriage dowry nowadays. Do you know that? They would rather run around the bushes and get what they want and dispense of these poor girls because they don't want to take the risk to come to you as a parent and say, hey, I want to marry your child, because they already know they cannot afford it. And I can understand sometimes if you tell somebody like, oh, before you get married, save you some money. $20,000 is not a lot of money to save. So you're making $20,000 a year. You're living, that's minimum wage. Yeah. If you're making $20,000 a year in minimum wage yearly, you can save $1,000 every tax return, and it will take you 20 years to pay off that dowry. But if your parents did that for the past 20 years they've had you, you live in America, one of their children would be able to get married, right? That's you working $20,000, saving $1,000 a year. But if you're also taking $100, $20, $30, $40, $50 out of your bank every month and putting it to the side in order to marry into the future, you will possibly be able to save you some money in less time. I don't know math, but you can do the math yourself. You can do the math by yourself. I'm pretty sure you can afford to pay the dowry. If it's $5,000 to $10,000, you should easily be able to pay it in less than 5 years. Yeah. In less than 5 years. And a lot of time Bantu people be depending on the tax return. Like they be respectfully waiting on the tax return to get married because it's like they think they're getting more money. But sometimes some men don't get a lot of tax. You might be getting, if you're a single man, you might be getting $1,200 to $1,500. No matter how much you work, you're not getting more than $2,500 because you don't have any dependents. So how are you going to possibly be able to get married by next summer? If you're only getting $2,000, how could you possibly get married by next summer? Then you must have to cut off your mouth. Stop doing stuff. Raise that money the correct way. Work hard. Get a better job. But don't let that job mentally drain you, because if it mentally drains you, you're thinking of a way to get that money back once you get married to that girl. And it's not her fault. It's your fault. You chose to get married without really being prepared. And now you did get married to somebody's child. You're neglecting her. You're making her feel useless unless she gets a job and starts to make money in order to support both of you guys. But that's your plan. When you marry somebody's daughter, you're making a promise to take care of her for the rest of her life like her father did. Even if that man was deadbeat, You're supposed to take care of her just as well as her father did or better. It's a serious conversation. I'm just trying to lighten the mood. So I would just like to say, protect your child's dignity and allow her to marry the one she wants for a decent price. Stop trying to sell her. Stop trying to ask for too much. Even after he gets married, he still has to maintain a home. He still has to put stuff in that home. He still has to pay for, before the what's it called, to have the walima. He still has to have a space to rent out a hall to get married, because you people want big weddings. You want him to buy, his family to bring 3 suitcases of batis, 1 suitcase of abayas. You want him to bring $7,000 to $10,000 gold. You're not just asking for money. You're not just asking $5,000 to $10,000 in money. Dowry wise, you're also expecting this man to pay for gold. You're also expecting this man's family to pay for clothes. You're also expecting this man's family to pay for food to serve at the wedding, at the nikah, or at the walima. You're also expecting him to pay for the hall to get you married in, so you can invite all your fake ass friends and family members that you've never seen in freaking years. It's a lot that goes into marriage, and it's like no one is worried about the marriage anymore. They're just worried about the wedding. Y'all not worried about the marriage. Y'all don't want positive, happy marriages for your children. You just want money, and it's not fair. You have to do better. As parents, we all have to do better. For our future generation, let's not be like our parents. Let's not put all this money on our children's heads just in order for them to make their marriages halal. What happened to just asking for Quran to be recited, a surah to be recited for your daughter for dowry or mahir? What happened to just, like back in the days when they used to just say, oh, give us $114 to get married to your daughter, right? That's 114 surahs. So it's like $1 per surah. What happened to when dowry used to be like about 10, 11 years ago? Dowry used to literally be $2,000. I know somebody who got married for $2,500. I know somebody who got married for $3,000. I know somebody who got married for $4,000 back in the days, but it never exceeded $5,000. And it's like, but you got to understand, that's $5,000 for the dowry. And he has to buy a chain, a necklace that costs at least $5,000 to $7,000 for her mahir. Yeah. And his family still needs to bring the suitcases of clothes so that the daughter has somewhere. He has to still pay for a house, a roof over her head. He still has to make sure that house is furnished with the best of the best, because there's a competition going on with whose house looks the best after marriage. Because the parents will come after the 7 days and they want to see that their daughter is in a nice house. Why'd you just start there? Why'd you just say, put my daughter in a nice house, put a roof over her head, furnish her house, and that's the mahir? You want $5,000 to $7,000 necklace, gold earring set that she will never wear, and it will deteriorate over time. And you also want $5,000 to $10,000 for yourself. Do you know how stressful it is nowadays to get married? You know how hard it is? And that's why there's less marriages. More girls are getting pregnant outside of marriage. More women are running away from their homes and getting married for free. They rather just be like, oh, I'm in my man's house, I love him. But the thing with that, I want to talk about running away for a man, because the thing with that, the negative effect in that is he doesn't respect you, because he did not get married to the halal way, like the honest way of speaking to your parents. He will never respect you the same. And that's a story for another time. If you guys want me to talk about that, let me know. The dowry should not cost an arm and a leg. It should be sweet and simple. And it should be just as simple as saying, thank you for giving me your daughter. Here's a gift. A thank you gift. whatever the guy could afford at that time. And I feel like he would respect the marriage, and he will respect the family, and he'll respect that daughter a lot more than anyone who spends over $10,000 on marrying your child. Like, that's it. If he spends $20,000, whew, your daughter is not in a happy marriage. Just know that. Your daughter is not in a happy marriage. That man is still thinking about his money. So let me cut my rant short, and I just want to get to the conclusion of this video. The point of this video is just to say dowry should not cost an arm and a leg. It should be as simple as giving a small gift, a gratitude of what the man can afford, in order to say thank you for raising my beautiful wife that I will love and cherish for the rest of my life. We're supposed to motivate our children to get married. We're supposed to motivate our children to stay married. We're supposed to motivate them to want and need a partner for life, not to cause fitna or cause them to dwell on the cost of dowry and just be stuck in debt all their lives. You know, we're supposed to motivate them to grow together, to understand that in life you do need a partner, and it would be a blessing to have a partner that loves and respects you and your family. Before you declare a cost for a big price tag for dowry, just think about it. Will that man treat your daughter right? Will that man love on your daughter correctly? Will that man respect your daughter? Will that man respect you? Will that man give your daughter what's best for her? Or will he dwell on the fact that he spends so much money in order to make her his wife, just to be stuck paying debt? Is that what you want? And as a woman, I just want to say, be open-minded and be able to speak up on the things that you agree on and you disagree on. Because a lot of times our parents might think, I'm your parent, I raised you, you don't talk to me that way. But the thing is if they weren't your parent, if your mother was not your mother, she's just a woman like you. She was once a girl like you. If your father wasn't your father, he was just a man. He's just a man. Like, that's how you have to look at people. A man and a woman, we're all that. Like, whatever your mother is exactly what you are. And you have to look at this. Like, if I can't even talk to my parents, you can talk to them respectfully, not disrespectfully. Be like, you are making my man pay too much for dowry. I hate you. None of that negativity, negative energy to the side, and talk to your parents with kindness and respect. Mom, Dad, I have a conversation to have with you, and this conversation is very, very sensitive, but I understand that and I respect that. But I don't like the fact that you're making my husband-to-be pay so much in dowry that is going to delay the time we can get married. If you're giving him $20,000, he wasn't expecting $20,000. He only saved 10. Are you able to just accept the 10? And with that would be everything. That would include the cost of marrying you. That would include the gold, the hat that he's supposed to buy. That can include the like all that's on the parent side. The food that y'all want to serve, like the goat, the cow, whatever. It can include all that. $10,000 right now. Or if it's $20,000, it will take him longer to make it. But if that's what you want him to do, he will work towards it. But in that time, it's going to take him a year and a half. In that time, I don't know what can happen. I'd rather not fall into the temptation of committing zina. And I would just respectfully be happy as your kid who respects you and has respected you for this many years, 18, 20, 23, 24, 25 years. I've respected you as my parent, and I appreciate everything you've done for me. But I feel like the dowry is too much, and if you can accept what he's offering, I will be more than happy, to get married and to get out of your roof. And I will be so much in gratitude. Like, I would show so much gratitude to you as my parents. I will respect you so much more than I already do, because you're allowing me to be with the man that I love without putting a price tag on my life. That's a conversation that can be had with grown people. Can parents grow up and allow their kids to speak up? Can parents put their differences aside? Can parents just be parents? Just be a child, like your child, like think like your child for 1 second? Can you do that? Well, I'm going to wrap this video right there. I'll leave you guys with that question. Can parents just be understanding for once? Can you listen? Dowry should not cost an arm and a leg. It should not cost as much as it does nowadays. With inflation in this economy, it's harder to get married every day. And stop allowing your children to commit zina. Accept the person they bring to you. Do it halal. In the name of Allah, do it halal. That's the topic for today. If you have anything to add to this, don't hesitate to add to this in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on all my other social media. Thank you so much. Turn your notifications bell on because you don't want to miss these videos that are going to be coming back to back to back to back. I'll try my best to post more often, about maybe twice. I'm gonna start with every other week so from now on, just so that I have time to make, edit, and post the videos, because I'm a busy mother and wife. So I have a life and I want to make sure I can bring you guys authentic videos with good quality. And I hope that with time we grow together and my videos just become more educational, and you know, take it as you may. I'm trying my best to educate my sisters and brothers on topics that are very sensitive to the Somali Bantu community and people in general. So if you like what I have to say, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.